Let's talk about the first point of Aries. So first things first, the first point of Aries is not in Aries. I swear it seems like astronomy does this on purpose sometimes, but it's not. It's just because astronomy has been around for millennia, and so things kind of get weird over long time scales, and we have all this history. So the first point of Aries is the reference from which all of the right ascension is measured on the celestial sphere. So it's basically the prime meridian of right ascension. And just like, the Greenwich meridian, it's pretty arbitrary. You can pick anything you want to be the reference. You just need to have a reference. And back in the day, like we're talking like BCE, they decided to make the first point of Aries the reference for the sun's motion across the sky throughout the course of the year. So I don't know, blame Hipparchus for this. Now, all of the stars on the celestial sphere are pretty much fixed because we think of them as being kind of infinitely far away. And so even though the Earth moves a little bit over the course of the year, like 1 to 2 AU is not really going to have a very large effect on the location of the stars in general, except for the sun, because obviously the Earth is moving a lot relative to the sun. And so the location of the sun is going to change dramatically on the celestial sphere. And in fact, it travels across the entire celestial sphere during the course of a year. And this path that the sun takes through the sky is called the ecliptic. Now, because of the Earth's axial tilt, the sun moves in declination. Now, the equinoxes are the point where the ecliptic crosses that celestial equator. So the March equinox is when it goes from northern declination to southern declination. So that March equinox is the first point of Aries. That is the point which we are measuring right ascension. But here's the thing about the equinoxes. They precess. And this is because the Earth's axis precesses. Now, over the course of the year, this is very, very minor, but over the course of like centuries, it's definitely significant. So back when Hipparchus decided to make the vernal equinox the reference for the sun's motion throughout the sky, it was in fact in the constellation of Aries, and it was very far on the edge of the constellation of Aries, such that it was basically when the sun entered the constellation of Aries. And so this is why it was called the first point of Aries, because it was the sun crossing the celestial equator as it went into the constellation of Aries. But then as the equinoxes precessed, it actually made it to the constellation Pisces, which is where it is today. And in fact, it's actually pretty far to the edge of Pisces, so it's not going to be that long until the first point of Aries is in Aquarius. And when I say not that long, I mean astronomically speaking, it's like a few centuries, I think. So that's the first point of Aries. It's just the March equinox. It is not in Aries, and it is what we measure right ascension from.